Hey Ted, I realized that your question I didn't answer quite in the way I could have, so here's a short follow up. The basic issue of this, first of all, I'm going to have to mention the plan that I had because it was developed specifically to combat the kind of guns and butter discussion we're having. When Mark Davis asked me to submit a proposal, I had a conversation prior to the NFL owners meeting in San Francisco in spring that went along the lines of would be saying, well, I don't want public money. And I said, you should say that as mayor. And you would say, why are we having this conversation? I've known Libby for 25 years. And up to this point, I've attended 3 NFL owners meetings, the Super Bowl, and the NFL draft. So the NFL is part of my life. And because of our relationship and what I do, I'm uniquely qualified, aside from the fact that my background is in city planning. I work for the city of Oakland in economic development. I'm uniquely qualified to advise her in this way. So, back to what I told her. I said, you should say that you don't want public money for a stadium. So when Mark Davis gave me the go-ahead, I set out to form a plan with the objective of not using a dime of public money. In fact, I did it. I formed it to actually produce money for the public. It's a 40-year lease revenue bond issue. We keep the east side of the Coliseum, as I mentioned previously. But the ultimate revenue throw-off, and this is on my blogs, na62.com, if you go into the search area and type Coliseum June 7th, you can read the entire plan. But the objective of the plan was to have a cash revenue throw-off, and it does. A surplus of $518 million approximately. Now, because of the 1998 Ryder decision, that money can be used for other services. And I might add, that's not including the $200 million in new tax revenue that will be generated by the project. The project cost, in the way that I conceive, is $1.8 billion. I'm just trying to get something done here. But the point is that it eliminates the guns versus butter discussion, and it says that it takes us back to the idea of what public projects are for. They are designed to marshal revenue, to provide a venue to draw people that then draws additional revenue to allow us to more easily provide for services and other improvements in the municipality. That's the idea. More often than not, until recently, sports facilities weren't developed that way. There are exceptions, okay, of course, like AT&T Park, which has a lot of obvious public benefits and has really transformed San Francisco in many different ways. And that city really didn't need to be transformed, but that was an added plus. But the bottom line is, in this instance, we have the ability and the opportunity to get it right, okay? In 1996, we were the first users, actually the second users of the personal seat license plan, and we had one source of revenue, and that was the sales from the PSLs. We didn't do a really good market study, and what numbers we had that were less than rosy scenarios were essentially buried. They weren't presented to us by the city of Oakland. We have the opportunity to do something better and different, and we're blowing it by our lack of desire to complete big projects. So in the case of the Coliseum, it's our opportunity to get it right and, yeah, have extra money to help pay for services in Oakland. Now, regarding the Coliseum's problems, when I represented the mayor of Oakland in 1997 as economic advisor, I was presented with a 46-item punch list of improvements that needed to be made to the Coliseum that, if done, would not have caused, like, for example, the sewage leakage problem that the A's experienced last year. The point that I'm making is that was 97. This is 2015. The vast majority of items on that punch list are still not done. So we have an infrastructure problem at the Coliseum. I just want to make that point.